Hello guys and welcome to the ProDota Cup series by Smashcast TV. We are here watching the second match of the SEA region for this tournament of the day. We have Happy Feet versus the Mongolz in a best of 2 to the death. Happy Feet, a team which has not been doing too well neither in this tournament nor in the Epicenter qualifiers, but is looking to kind of regain some of that long last love they used to have, especially players like Jules or Jesse Bash, who used to be, staples of the SEA scene. Whereas they're fighting the Mongolz, a team that is thoroughly inconsistent, but they stay with the same players for most of the time. And obviously, watching Earth Spirit Proxy is always a pleasure. So it's great to watch the Mongolz most of the time. Who is going to win between these two teams? Honestly, it's hard to say. Happy Feet have the people's vote, but the Mongolz are so inconsistent that they can easily take down Happy Feet if they're playing at their top game. That said, guys, my name is DSwordfish. I'll be your caster for today. Hope you enjoy the cast. Let's get right to it, shall we? The Nyx Assassin, Earth Spirit, Vengeful Spirit, and Juggernaut, Jengu Master, I'm going to call him. Juggernaut banned out by Happy Feet. They pick up the Crystal May and the Lina, the two sisters, combined with the Terror Blade. Mongolz, on the other hand, they have a Twin Protector, Monkey King, Legion Commander, and Slark band, and they pick up the Abaddon, the Shadow Shaman, the Ricky, and the Tinker. I like this Abaddon Shadow Shaman combination. You can actually run the Abaddon with the Shadow Shaman in the same lane and have a very strong lane harassment and very strong lane domination as a whole, putting a lot of pressure onto the Terror Blade. Terror Blade is probably one of the better heroes to deal with the Shadow Shaman, though, because of his armor. Early on, the base attack, the huge base attack damage boost the Shadow Shaman received is not going to be as effective against someone like Terror Blade, who is going to be able to withstand most of that damage. So, congratulations, the Happy Feet smart with that move. The Mongolz, though, with the Tinker, they have a way to deal with that Terror Blade. He's one of the few heroes that doesn't actually beat, Lead is one of the few heroes that managed to beat the Tinker in lane, which is important because that way Happy Feet can get a pretty secure safe lane. However, the Tinker, the very secure mid lane. However, the Tinker, as the game progresses, you have the laser and you have the way to deal with Terror Blade illusions easily with the March of the Machines as well. So you can cancel a lot of things, actually. Oh, was that just an alt tabbing? Lovely. Thought it just crashed. Give me a second. Okay, let me just restart Dota. One quick second, guys. Don't worry, we won't miss any part of the game. As promised, it's just the draft that we're kind of missing, and only for a couple seconds. I do apologize for this. Reconnecting. And here we go. Great. So, nothing missed. Starter is the last ban for the Mongolz, as they don't have, if you need a second support. That second support could definitely be a starter. It could still be a Lina, Crystal Maiden in the same lane as two supports helping a Terror Blade, and that would be terrific if you're the Abaddon and the Shadow Shaman, because they have a lot of stuns and they can stack him pretty decently, and your Aphotic Shield won't help you against the Frostbite as much. But the starter still would have been a better pick, and obviously the Lina's going to go mid because it's just that strong of a hero. Let's see what Happy Feet pick up as their last ban, or what is going to be their last ban. A carry, probably here, they need to ban out. Yeah, so what's a carry that's good against Terror Blade? Juggernaut's probably the first thing you think of. Honestly, Slark would have been great too, but Mongolz already banned that as well. A Spectre, perhaps, if they want to run and win the early game and just kind of dominate Terror Blade that way. Spectre's okay. Usually heroes that can become untargetable are the best, or heroes that can stay on low HP. Ursa, Huskar, but not against Terror Blade. And Troll Warlord. Troll Warlord is actually pretty good. He can prevent the Sunder. He doesn't become untargetable like the Slurk or the Omni Slash, but he does have the ability to just perma-stun the Terror Blade, and he's pretty good against Omninet as well. So Weaver's pretty weak against Terror Blade because she only has physical damage. Troll Warlord also only has physical damage, except for the Wielding Axis. Maybe going for a Gyrocopter if you want to go countering the Terror Blade completely. I still like the Troll as the pick for Mongolz. Happy Feet in this case are gonna probably go for a. What's a good position for the still in the game? Ogre Magi is still in the game. Actually, Ogre Magi seems like a really good idea here. Combined with the Crystal Maiden, pretty powerful. Okay, Spirit Breaker instead, not a bad pick either. Similar idea to the Ogre Magi. Has a good amount of tank. Is able to get more kills in the early game though, so he's able to put more pressure onto the Tinker, and more importantly, he's great against Tinker. Tinker won't be able to blink away and try to TP into the shenanigans he usually does with Rearm, because they'll have a great disable that will always target him. So yeah, currently it's kind of hard to play Actually, kind of hard to play the Tinker right now as the Mongolz guys, because they have a lot of ways to deal with. And the Lina, the Spirit Breakers, can have a hard time in the early game, hard time in the mid game. Mongolz is to pick up a carry that has enough potential to carry the game on its own, in the off chance the Tinker does die. Actually, a void would be alright for the Mongolz. The typical picks of the Mongolz would be something along the of a Spectre. The Troll Warrior would be my preferred pick, and if you want to go for the full untargetable and the fact that Void is actually quite strong, you'd go for the Void. We've seen it earlier today. I think I got the idea from there, because Mongolz doesn't usually pick Void, but it would be really good with the Tinker Shadow Shaman combination. The Snakes can deal a lot of damage within the Chrono. You get the damage onto the Lina as well. Pretty easy kill. You even get the smoke screen so that the Terrorblade can't sunder once the Chrono's off. And Void, yes, he might deal just physical damage, but being able to take away all the mana from the Terrorblade with a Manta style Diffusal Blade build just completely destroys him. Once he's away from the Chrono, he's never able to recover with a Sunder, and that just puts him in a difficult position. Let's see what the Mongolz pick up as their 5th pick, though. I actually don't know what the Mongolz would like to go for here. You're up against... It's just a really hard pick where there's nothing really gonna synergize too much with your strategy. Wow, that's okay. I like that. I like that. Go completely off the rails when you don't know exactly what to pick. You do have the Bloodseeker being fantastic at Spirit Breaker. Generally, Bloodseeker is pretty strong against Lina, because either you go Blade Mail or you have an insane amount of movement speed, meaning Lina can't run away. But either way, Bloodseeker is really good in that regard. They don't have much burst damage, so they can't take too much advantage of his Blood Rage. And Bloodseeker doesn't care too much about the Repel, so he's not too concerned about that. The Rupture goes to Repel. Only issue is Bloodseeker won't be able to, or will be hit by the Sunder almost guaranteed. However, Bloodseeker is one of the few heroes that can be playing on low health and just hoping to get a kill. In fact, he's most likely going to be on low health. And when the Sunder hits, he just activates Blade Mail right after and kills the Terrorblade, getting all his health back. So, yeah, that Bloodseeker can really work for them, honestly. I gotta give him points for creativity as well. That was pretty cool. That's a good amount of creativity there. Picking up a Bloodseeker. I just hope they win now. I just hope they win, because they just want to prove that the pick of Bloodseeker is a good one. We haven't seen Bloodseeker in a while. We did see, I believe it was EG playing Bloodseeker with the carry. As a carry for Arteezy. I do think it was him. Wait, is the minimap for some reason not put into... Oh, wait. Is that why? Does it keep? Okay. I thought there was an option to create the minimap. Oh, there it is. No, that's the minimap hero size. How do I create the minimap to go bigger? Huh. Oh well, whatever. Doesn't matter. One of the assets is not gonna look too good, but whatever. Let's get right into the game. Sorry about that delay. I was just trying to check, because recently I had to reinstall Dota to make sure that there was no corruption in the game files, and that screwed up my settings. Right. My name is DSwordfish. I'll be your caster for today. Let's present the teams real quick. Mongolz will be running here with Ariuka on the Riki in the support position. The carry will be Retribution onto the Bloodseeker. Playing the Abaddon will be Masquerade in the offlane position. The Shadow Shaman from Proxy in the second support position. And finally, the mid lane Sanke on the Tinker. As for Happy Feet, we have Jesse Vash on the Spirit Breaker in the first support position. Second being James Naismith as the Crystal Maiden. Playing the lane in the mid lane, it's Ben-Hur. And the carry position, Jules on the Terrorblade. And finally, in the offlane, Yaj will be playing the Omni Knight. Already trying to do a bit of creep skipping, but with a Shadow Shaman a bit harder. He comes in with the Shackles, a bit of auto attacking as well. But the Bloodseeker decided to go for level 1 Blood Rage for lane sustain, which might not be the best of options. I like Thirst level 1 if you're going to be playing carry a bit more, but whatever. The lane sustain is alright, but if you get Thirst, you actually get the extra amount of damage that you need for last hitting. And frankly, being able to heal up in the early game is not as relevant. Grabs a Poor Man's Shield very early on though, so you can tank their creeps if needed. Blood Rage that creep, hit it. Yeah, they should have Blood Rage that creep, hit it, but I guess he wants to maintain lane equilibrium. No, he does not seem to. He's gonna miss that last hit. Yep. I told you that's why you want to Blood Rage that creep and hit it twice. Because Bloodseeker actually has a pretty poor attack speed in the early game. Trying to get the lasses whenever you can. But didn't listen to me. Bloodseeker, Bloodseeker, Bloodseeker. Clearly doesn't play that many Bloodseeker games. Obviously, as the king of Bloodseeker, I take pride in that. Ricky's gonna be screwed this game though. Jesse Bash, great pick, the Spirit Breaker with the diffuser, with a dust now to catch Ariuka. Not even the stun, but the slow from the dust is enough because Ricky in the early game is not gonna be able to take the dust off because he has no abilities. He just has Cloak and Dagger. It's similar to how it's not like Bounty Hunter. That's the advantage Bounty Hunter has over the dust. He can Shadow Walk or attack something or whatever, and the dust will be gone because you need to activate Shadow Walk actively, right? If you're attacking someone and the Spirit Breaker comes at you and you know they're coming at you, you don't Shadow Walk again, or you just stay out of range and then they dust you with your fight because you don't have the slow on top of you. So getting a level 1 kill with Spirit Breaker is kind of hard on someone like Bounty Hunter, unless the Bounty Hunter plays badly or he's put in a really difficult position. However, getting a first blood into the Ricky is super easy, as we're seeing again. A dust, and Ricky can't dispel it. Maybe he'll put down a ward to dispel it. Oh, he's a tree, but actually forgot. Ricky can't. Items don't dispel invisibility, so Ariuka is just forever slowed. And they don't need anything else. They just need the poison ore plus the dust, and that's enough slowing to finish off the Ricky. And that's why this Spirit Breaker is so goddamn strong in that situation. Meanwhile, Retribution in the bottom lane is not having a hard time. Already going for, wow, 2 levels of Blood Rage. That is interesting. So, ultimate lane sustain. It's not bad because it does give you a bit more healing and the damage increase is okay. But obviously, usually you max out Thirst. So, getting 2 levels of that. I'm assuming he's going to go for 1 level of Blood Rage at the very least because you need the silence at least at 1 level. Usually you max Blood Rage last. In fact, it's not that great of a skill. It's exaggerated how good it is. But maybe he's more decided, or he has a plan here. Because Thirst actually gives you more damage early on, and you want to kill things as soon as you can if you go for Sanjay Yasha or the Radiance build either way. By the way, Ben-Hur is being harassed here, but right now, the middle lane is going so easily in her favor that she doesn't need to play offensively. She just needs to Dragon Slave whenever needed, and that's fine. And doesn't even need to get a Sentry for now, because the kill potential they have on someone like a Crystal Maiden with an Arcane Aura is quite low. Oh, careful, Yaj, they get the Shackles on, but he just used his Purification, so he'll be fine. In fact, the counter initiation for Happy Feet is coming up with the Spirit Breaker just charging down bottom. How will Retribution defend his teammate if he has no levels of Blood Rage? That's exactly what I was talking about. You need a level of Blood Rage at the very least to create some sort of zone out. Yaj is already charging in. The Purification available. Good Hex to prevent the charge from happening. The proxy will die regardless to Yaj's Degen Aura. In fact, they're going to go on Retribution now. They have that Greater Bash. Retribution not being hit by a 17% though. One last hit. Nah, Retribution will survive. They want to get Vision of him to get the charge, but it's a bit too late. Ariuka has now decided to join this lane as well. The charge is coming in anyway. Yaj will be able to get the kill before he dies. They hex him, and they will kill him off, but Jesse Vash getting a double kill here, including one on the Bloodseeker. Very important. As Mongolz sacrificed 2 TPs for this. They have a Shackles though. Shackles will come out. The creeps will help hit this Spirit Breaker. The TP also available for now. The damage from Proxy should be enough, including the Thirst to ensure that Proxy can hit him at any time. That charge was just a bit too late. Granted, it was on cooldown. It wasn't his fault, but it was just a bit too late to come off cooldown. Sadness, sadness, sadness. And Ariuka is ready to go on Ben-Hur here in the middle lane. However, with the Crystal Maiden, a bit hard because Jade's Daysmith is just going to stun him as soon as he goes on Happy Sauna. Oh, sorry, on Ben-Hur. And when that happens, Dragon Slave, Light Striker, Ray combo, and you're dead. We've already spoken about how good the combo it is as supports, just simply the Crystal Maiden plus the Lina, because it's a guaranteed Light Striker Ray, and it's easy amount of damage with a lot of magical damage. So imagine if you just have one as a carry, that's even better. It's even more magical damage. Right. Retribution should have known he was being charged, or should have smelled something. However, he doesn't know the Spirit Breaker is around here. So for now, Retribution playing defensively enough while the supports rotate. I don't know if that's the best idea. If Shadow Shaman rotating so much is good because Retribution is not getting that much farm. If you compare his farm to Terrorblades, you'll see that Terrorblade's doing so much better. And if he wants to go for the Radiance build, he's going to need a lot of early game boosting by just getting a bunch of kills. The only good thing about Bloodseeker and why the Radiance is such a good item on him, on top of the fact that he's just amplifies by the Blood Rage and you have the mischance is great and all that. Wait, careful, Retribution. We hit the Spirit Breaker. There's the Blood Right to prevent them from attacking, and good silence. That silence will hit the Shackles as well, but Spirit Breaker is way too tanky. Yaj has a Purification as well. Retribution knows this and is going to prevent himself from dying with a salve. Meanwhile, the Spirit Breaker not in the range of Thirst, but getting a lot of damage to the Bloodseeker currently, and with the Blood Rage, she could really just run down the Omni Knight. And they're going to try to as Ricky is coming in. And another kill. Oh, Yaj. There's the charge again. The purification needs to be used, but great silence to prevent the purification from happening. A second silence on the blood right now. And how are they supposed to get back from this? They get the kill on the Spirit Breaker. Retribution's being helped by Masquerade, who's decided to join the fray. But the Crystal Maiden from James Nasmith is also wanting to go onto Ariuka. Great double miss coil. Masquerade saving 2 teammates out once. And now going on to James Naismith as well. Retribution not getting that kill, so he can't heal up, but he's going to be present for it, so he'll still be able to get all that gold. He can't use the blood right because he used it. I don't think he used it on himself. He used it on someone else just to get the healing from the kill, which is fine. However, Retribution now can finally use the blood rage. Not blood right, sorry. Not blood. Yeah, not blood right, but blood rage is what I meant to say. No. Did I just see a Spirit Breaker charging? Yeah, charging on the Ricky. They have the dust, but Jesse Vash probably sacrificed himself as a result. Actually, forcing a rotation from Sanke, not entirely bad. In fact, might even be good because Sanke can't get the kill. So Spirit Breaker utilizing his natural bulk just to take a good kill on the Ricky. Really? I don't think Retribution understands how lasting on this guy works. His attack animation is horrendous. Alright. He does have that Rupture though. And with Rupture, he's going to be able to get an easy solo kill onto the Omni because there's no other way of escaping this. Or maybe even the Spirit Breaker, because Retribution is being charged now. There's a Purification available onto Yaj, and now the stun from Jesse Vashi to get a Hex out. They don't have the vision of it. Proxy won't be able to save his teammate. There's the Ether Shock. The Hex gets dispelled immediately by Yaj. Should have shackled Yaj instead. Might just do it under the tower, because why not? Purification's available, but instead uses the Earth Shock. Finally, Shackle comes out. A bit too late. Yaj breaks away from it for some strange reason, and they're just gonna let him go. Miscoil, never mind. Masquerade with that build of just one level of Miscoil is working wonders for him, as he's now trying to search for Jesse Vash, the second counter kill. And this offlaner and this support are being so annoying, a combination that's just destroying them. The only good thing out of this is that the Tinker's now finally been able to catch, like, the Tinker itself has been able to catch a rest because they forced a 1v1 in the middle lane, and the last seems bad for the Tinker because it's not too terrible because it's better than him being ganked constantly, and Sanka at least is not being the one that's dying. It's this Bloodseeker. They're trying to negate his farm completely, especially his impact on the early game. However, a little trick if you're playing Bloodseeker, you don't actually need items. Your Thirst will give you all the damage you need, so he's just still be relevant until minute 15-20, even without items. Even if he just has to go for that Radiance. That's why the Radiance is so good on the Bloodseeker, by the way. Oh, Ricky dead. Radiance is good on the Bloodseeker for a lot of reasons, sorry. The Blood Rage amplifies your damage, which is great. Your attack speed is usually decent because your agility gain is actually one of the best in the game, 3.0. I mean, it's up there. It's above the 2.85 the Void has, and the 2. It's the same as Silent Surge, which is one of the top agilities in the game. Believe it or not. Oh, that Repel makes it so that you can't actually hex it. Proxy, run away! The shackles, but there comes the rearmament, or the reinforcement, sorry. Go on to Yaj. There's a very good usage of the Rupture, putting him under the tower. Yaj can't run away any further. He's still walking around, but why? Just receiving extra damage, and with a Thirst, Retribution is looking for a kill on Jesse Vash, but they have no way of stunning him out of that charge. Instead, Bloodseeker just lost all his Thirst charges and can't go onto the Terrorblade. Unfortunate. Right, the point is here that the Radiance not only does amplify your damage, etc., it also gives you healing if it kills a creep in the vicinity by accident. You don't need to actually actively kill the creep with Bloodseeker, which is great because you rely on that healing a lot if you're playing with a Blood Rage, right? And even if with level 30% lifesteal is still pretty good. And more importantly, the mischance makes you a little bit less, a little bit less of a glass cannon without sacrificing the damage, which is another important factor. But the other reason why it's so good on Bloodseeker, the main reason, at least in my opinion, is that the Radiance takes a while to farm, so you'll be useless for a while without items, but Bloodseeker doesn't care about that. So there's the thing. Retribution, careful, because he has to prevent the there's no Nether Strike on Jesse Vash. Good silence, does not catch out Yaj. He wants to get the Purification off, does not kill a Bloodseeker with it, and with that he'll survive in long enough to just go back home. Whereas the Ricky gets a kill on the top lane against the Crystal Man. Let's look at the levels of the supports for a second. We'll notice that in fact Ariuka is actually Ariuka is actually level 6, Crystal Man's level 6, Spirit Breaker level 5. Let's see. Spirit Breaker level 5. No, not highly reached than level 6. The Shadow Shaman is probably the least farmed hero right now, with the not even getting Arcane Boots, but he's not doing that badly. In fact, the Ricky is just beating his gold per minute. It's just a bit above him in terms of gold because of the kills he's been getting. So it works out fine for both teams right now. They're not too concerned about their supports. They do want the level 6 on both the Spirit Breaker and the Shadow Shaman. Maybe the Ricky not that important, neither is the Crystal Maiden, but really the Spirit Breaker and the Shadow Shaman are important to grab those 6s to go for team fights. However, with Omnia being able to grab Guardian Angel anytime he likes, he doesn't reserve an extra point for it, but he will be grabbing it anytime soon. It's going to be hard to fight this, especially with the Terrorblades trying to make use of the whole map and Could have get a good amount of farm doing so. Yaj himself is going for a minus, and though he might not be the most farmed hero in the game, he is the most farmed offlaner. And that is another kill from Proxy. Using the snakes, committing the snakes to a Crystal Maiden, that is unfortunate, because they could have just taken this tower had he just decided to put them a bit further off. I don't know, that was a great commitment of snakes for a Crystal Maiden. The Crystal Maiden we saw already last game, how many times he died. And oh, Sanka, careful. He uses the laser to prevent any more greater bashes, and with the Aphotic Shield, he should be able to survive. Good Aphotic Shield out of Yuka, though, just found Ben-Hur, and might want to go on to him. He has the tricks of the trade, has a smoke screen ready, so there's no spells coming out from him. However, there's no TPs available, so it's going to be quite hard. Everyone, in fact, TPs. The Bot Seeker, the Shadow Shaman, they all TP away, saying, screw it, I just don't want to deal with this Spirit Breaker. He might be coming any second. We don't have any evasion out of Yuka, so right now he's just actually sapping experience from the enemy Lina, which is not too bad. And with a sapping experience from both Lina and Crystal Maiden, it makes it even worse. Out of Yuka, notice that he didn't go for the bounty rune. They put a sentry down, he just canceled the smoke. He's been really effective, and now he can TP away. That was really good, because even if he had gone, I mean, he could have gone for the bounty room, but they would have put the sentry immediately. However, and he would have died for sure. However, by doing what he did, he just prevented a smoke, did not die himself, and what, you gave a bounty to the enemy team. That was the payoff, I suppose. Definitely worth it. Bloodseeker now, recovering a bit in terms of farm, trying to get that Yasha first to get the extra movement speed, which Thirst might not always give you. It's very important to get that extra movement speed for Thirst, because you want to be a useful hero even when not everyone is low on health. Oh, this is Spirit Breaker. He's not coming from... Yeah, they put some wards down so you can hex him. Hex is ready. Good. That's exactly what you need to do. Then comes the Tinker, and DSwordfish like, okay, wrong neighborhood. Let's leave. Let's leave. Quick, quick. Empowering haste. No need, no use for it. Or hasn't skilled it up yet. So that Curse of Avernus is much stronger. Now come the Shackles. They're ready to get on Yashivash, even using the smoke screen to prevent anyone from coming in and helping him. Yaj wants to fight though. He's been stuck in the middle of the blood right. There's also using the Rupture onto him. He has to TP away. Did they have a Hex? One Hex! No! He could have shackled him the whole time, but he decided not to. Did he? Wait, was he repelled? He might have just repelled himself, actually. Yeah, I didn't see that. Yeah, because if Proxy had the shackle off cooldown, he definitely would have let the Omnight go. He could have just shackled him, period. But whatever. Omnight makes it out alive. What can you do? It's the best way to counter a Bloodseeker. Just TP. That's why it needs Basher or some way to cancel your TP. So, or the MKB perhaps. But in the end, what started out being a really good Spirit Breaker play ended up being a... Sorry, what's starting out being a decent Spirit Breaker kill ended up being just a sad play by Mongolz, where they couldn't get any more than the Spirit Breaker, which is not that big a deal because Spirit Breaker's kind of suicidal anyway. Oh no, what are you doing, Proxy? Caught by the Nether Strike, then a second Greater Bash. Now the Crystal Nova to slow him down. DSwordfish even has the Urn. No need for it, or sorry, the opposing orb. No need for the slow because they had a Frostbite ready. And the Urn of Shadows with 2 charges now ready. So that's great for him. That's why he needed that kill important. And he's like, where are you TP to? And he's just been ruptured. Now the TP from Tinker, not TPing to the creep, instead TPing to the tower. Very smart. Retribution clear the target as the charger target now. They're gonna go on Jules though and manage to kill him off with a great silence, preventing that Sunder from coming off. Retribution might not get that kill, but they still get the healing from the catapult. Now Yaj is still going to this bottom lane with a charge of the Spirit Breaker ready, but they decided to cancel at the last second. Don't want to play too aggressively. They've just lost to Terrorblade. They don't want to lose their Omnight and their Spirit Breaker as well. Smart choice, because that could have been a really bad idea if you were a team from Happy Feet. Catch out Tinker in the mid lane though. Frostbite, the laser to finish off the Crystal Maiden. She sacrifices herself for this kill. Is it going to be worth it? The Blood Right's already coming out. It's a great zone out skill. Puts the Spirit Breaker in a really dangerous position with a Thirst. It's impossible not to catch him. He has the Yasha. The extra speed is great. Retribution starts healing and heals with the Spirit Breaker kill. Now he just needs to kill Ben-Hur. And with the help of this Abaddon, it's fantastic because he can just go in with a Aphotic Shield. However, he has Rupture in 3 seconds, so you have to be careful here with the Spirit Breaker leaving. Sorry, with the Bloodseeker. Let him hit the Blood Right with a... Let him hit the creeps of the Blood Right so that he can get some healing. That's pretty smart. He gets a bit of a Shrine healing as well. Retribution, pretty happy with that. He's going to go back into the fray. Those snakes, not the best positioning here, as more of a zone out positioning so that the enemy team cannot stay too close because they know this tower is pretty much guaranteed. And now Masquerade, they're going to hit him with a charge. Oh, careful, the Ricky goes down completely to the damage from both Ben-Hur and Yaj, and Proxy sees this, wants to hex the Spirit Breaker, prevents the charge from happening, but he's going to sacrifice his own life as a result. Was it worth it? Maybe not, probably not, as the Rupture comes in Hits the Lina. They just want to prevent her from moving. The Yasha should give her... The Yasha was a thirst to give Retribution enough movement speed. Empowering Haste has been triggered though. And there's the charge plus the Purification. However, the Aphotic Shield ensures that Retribution survives. He's still being hit by the Crystal Nova, but he can survive most of the damage now. See how useful that Yasha was just for the extra movement speed? Isn't the idea that even when you have thirst, you don't have to... You can still get it out of there alive. That was a weird play by the Shadow Shaman. I understood that he wanted to gain some time for the Bloodseeker, but if they just left... If they had all just left from the beginning, they would have been fine. In fact, yeah, they would have all been fine, and they would have lost the Shadow Shaman, wouldn't have lost the Bloodseeker. They just needed to let the... Once the Ricky die, and once the Ricky died, they concentrated too many spells on it, and they just have to leave. But instead, they still stayed a bit longer, and they got punished for it as a result. Hitseeking missiles, great tricks to the tray plus smoke chain, zoning them out either next to the Roshan or next to the enemy team. And they actually managed to steal the Aegis. No, yeah, they actually managed to steal the Roshan, but Lina attacks the Aegis. Now she's being hit by the Rupture. She can't follow Bloodseeker any further. He wants to heal the Crystal Maiden kill, and the Aegis has been triggered finally in the Lina. Masquerade, no borrowed time, only a Solar Crest. Can that save him? Probably not. He has to Aphotic Shield himself back up. Yeah, keeps upgrading the Aphotic Shield. Solar Crest really helping him out here. The Lina with that extra hit. Wow, that is a really strong Aphotic Shield. I think it's a Solar Crest that's saving him though. He keeps just renewing it to not die. And 2 hits will do the trick unless Masquerade can evade them with Solar Crest. Fantastic. Light Strike Array also misses Masquerade, somehow still alive. The Aphotic Shield very effective, and Jules heals by targeting the Lina. But with the thirst, now they see her entirely. The Heat-Seeking Missiles is available to just finish him off again. And I don't think the Lina's going to make it out alive. Ooh. Bet her TP's right in time. Right, that was a very dangerous Asunder. But it was because with the thirst, they get vision of you. And obviously, Heat-Seeking Missiles can just kill you. So that would have been really dangerous. The Terrorblade has less HP, I think, right now than Lina. Yeah, his strength hit is deplorable. 1.4 per level is horrendous. Not like the Lina's much better, but she has a Bloodstone. So only 1.5 per level. She's gone for the Yule Scepter. Interestingly enough, going for the extra damage, still going for Yule Scepter, and now going for the Shadow Blade build. Usually you don't go Yule Scepter Shadow Blade because you don't need 2 setup items, or 2 initiation items, but I guess in this situation, sure, why not? Jesse Vash. Oh, Smoke Tree. Nah, the Rupture, that's pretty good. Jesse Vash, careful. He's dead. What is he? Is he trying to run away so he gets hit by the Rupture? I'm not entirely certain what the plan was there. The issue with Spirit Breaker is that you usually don't carry TPs early on in the game because you actually just rely on your charge to escape. It's a great escape mechanism. But with a Bloodseeker, I assure you that's not even possible. That's never possible. 225 health. Actually very powerful level 10 for a Bloodseeker. And that's why you can delay it a bit more, get your skills, and then get the level 10 afterwards. It's pretty nice. 25 damage is not as strong. A Terrorblade, on the other hand, going and about to finish his Manta style. It's going to be great to dispel that silence from the Bloodseeker, so that Sunder's going to be much more effective. Also can dispel the laser from Sanke. Sanke himself is not doing too bad in terms of net worth. Got a Trial Boots with decent timing. Now with the Blink Dagger and the Soul Ring, ready to attack with the Aether Lens and the Aghanim build. It's been the most common build these days, the Aether Lens and the Aghanim build, and more importantly, get the Terrorblade is just fantastic. To get that Aether Lens, sorry, a laser refraction among everyone, that's going to kill most of the Terrorblade illusions. Is going to destroy almost all of Happy Feet targets when they give them with a laser refraction. They have no way of preventing it, and obviously getting that extra laser blind is great. Okay, that's dead on the way. They caught him with everything, and once the Shadow Shaman just jumps in, I think he has Blink Dagger. No, he's just playing pretty well. Pretty good positioning by proxy. Getting a Glimmer Cape first to ensure he doesn't die against, say, a Lina or a Terrorblade. They just find him in a bad position. And he's informing very, very aggressively, with Omnat even helping him to buy a couple wards, just so that he can get the Midas, and later on Blink Dagger, and then later on the Aghanim Scepter, which are all very valuable items on a Shadow Shaman. Now, Ariuka sees Benner and might punish him as a result. Ooh, that was a really good Rupture. Even if you use a smoke screen into the Rupture, you force him to either move away or get screwed over by being in a silenced area the whole time. Look at how they're using the Rupture though. More of a zone out skill, as Ben-Hur cannot really prevent the damage. They go into this Glimmer Caped Shadow Shaman, but he's gonna be fine. Dust hits both him and the Ricky. Or what's the Dust on? Yeah, Dust didn't hit the Ricky, just hit the Shadow Shaman. They keep using the Nether Strike, or trying to, because Proxy cancels a great Aphotic Shield to save his life. Now in comes the Omnat, trying to help Jules out, and Ben-Hur is about to die. Ariuka's trying to chase him down, but the Freezing Field finally comes out from Jace Naismith. He's dealing so much damage. How did they cancel this? They have no stuns to cancel it. Retribution will eventually have to run away. He's really fast because of his thirst, but he's not fast enough to, get the kills here. And in comes the Tinker again. Yash gets him with Purification. The Shadow Shaman will finally sacrifice himself. In comes Retribution, trying to get him with a Blood Right. He has a Thirst very nicely activated. as the Crystal Maiden takes a while to go back, but even with that thirst extra damage, you'd have to be an idiot to go against that many heroes and think you'd survive. He's going to go for the Blade Mail now, very needed for Retribution. With next Freezing Field, that Blade Mail is just going to crush the Lina, or the Crystal Maiden, sorry. That's why you go for the extra health, because you want them to be able to withstand a lot of punishment and then punish with, or attack them with Blade Mail and the extra damage it deals. Also, the stats aren't too bad. I'm assuming he's going to go for the 30 attack speed here. The Blood Right damage is okay, because it's pure damage. Okay, never mind. He's going to go purely for the pure damage. Interesting. I would have gone entirely for the attack speed. Then it's plus 10 all stats. I could hope. I don't think he's going to go for a spell damage Bloodseeker. I mean, Blood Red is good. It does 75 pure, extra pure damage, but really the damage being 200 and, what, 15? Is 315 of pure damage? It's still less than Purification. They still have a lot of healing. And I know it's a large area spell, but you want to use it more for the silence than you do for the damage. Then again, the damage also helps. It's always a welcome... You know, it's always a welcome... sight for the guys at... It's always a welcome sight for the guys at Mongolz to get like a bit of extra damage and ensure the Tinker can be even more useful. In the top lane, Tinker is not going to go on Benyer. Really? Oh, because he knew that rearm plus... Yeah, rearm plus anything would not kill Benyer. Or Ben-Her. Sorry, I keep mispronouncing his name, thinking it's Nye because of the NH, but apparently not. Ryuka is going for the Inner Shadows, who's now following just James Naismith, knowing that he's up to some. Sanke is actually more to go into Jules, so he's trying to push a lot of money here. Now, doesn't want the Crystal Maiden to make this so hard to sell. They have no vision of this Ricky, so he's just actually giving them great vision onto the enemy team, what the Tinker can use to play a bit more aggressively, as he knows exactly where everyone else is. The charge, though, coming in is going to really screw over Sanke. Luckily, he's going to be able to TP away in time. Jesse Vash is not going to continue this charge, although he could have, because the Tinker usually rearms and TPs very close. Or, again, very soon, so it wouldn't have made much of a difference. It would just charge to the new location. But whatever. The guys from Mongolz decide to maybe... Yeah, the maybe Benner is in this middle lane, and this is an easy kill. Proxy catching him with a Hex. There it is. Now the help from the snakes. They commit everything. The shackles even used. They didn't need to commit those snakes, frankly. Again, snakes by proxy are being used a bit too preemptively without any need for it. Now they could have it for this team fight. It's not a bad spell for team fights, but it's definitely a bad spell for just a solo kill. Masquerade. Oh, Ariuka is actually going to be hit by that charge. That's interesting. I know you could evade that with Tricks of the Trade, but it would still hit the center of it. So it thinks that it knows where you are. Happy Feet are going to lose Alina and not lose anything else. Alina lost a couple Bloodstone charges. I think that was 3. She had 15. Yeah. It's a third of your Bloodstone charges, though, so that wouldn't make much sense. So she would have 16. No. What's a third so that you land at 12? Yeah, what's the third that you land on 12? More or less. Because 16 a third would not be, I guess would be 5 or closer to 5. So 17? Yeah, because a third would be close to 5, I suppose. I don't think you round up. I think you round up. Or just 18 charges. One of the 3. Regardless, losing 6 to 5 charges is an insane amount. So that's not bad. They stopped her pushing power considerably. Oh, the Terrorblade being hit by the Rupture. That's an easy kill onto him if he just can get a silence. The issue is he hasn't used his Manta style yet, so it's quite hard to stop the Terrorblade from just sundering someone. From behind, we see that there's an Abaddon that's not yet in the team fight, but maybe this is not the best idea for the Abaddon to join them. I like that he went for Solo Crest so early and now is finally going for Midas, saying, okay, screw it. We need a Solo Crest really early to deal with this Terrorblade, then we can go for a Midas and, you know, try to go for the late game. After all, Bloodseeker versus Terrorblade late game is not too beneficial for you, but you do have a Tinker to help you out. Oh, the top lane, Ben-Hur has found Proxy. Proxy took Glimmer Cape of himself away, prevent some of the Laguna's blade damage, but never mind. The damage from Happy Feet is too extreme, so they're just gonna kill him off regardless, just with the auto attacks that Lina does. I mean, the plus 50 damage now with the Shadow Blade as well. She deals an insane amount of damage, especially with the Fire Soul stacks up on her. Okay, some heat-seeking missiles. Tinker not doing anything of the sort. I'm sorry, Tinker not doing anything but just defending these towers, making sure the March of the Machines ensures that the Happy Feet guys do not take towers. And this takes away some of the Terrorblade's farm. Terrorblade's very used to just, you know, out-farming in the enemy team by being able to take objectives as well, and helping your supports at the same time as you help yourself. But in this case, it's probably not going to be the case. The objectives are a bit better protected with the heat-seeking missiles, the constant March of the Machines push. Terrorblade has just wait or doesn't want to use Metamorphosis. I wish that would just tell me Metamorphosis is up, not if Sunder is up. Terrorblade is pretty much 2 ultimates, so it'd be nice. Regardless, They managed to defend this, but now Proxy might sacrifice themselves as a result. Bloodseeker, no, that's Ricky coming in. Proxy actually survives for quite a while thanks to the Glimmer Cape and the Luminous Blade have been wasted. 2 extra trade already used by Ricky, and in comes Masquerade. Wants to use the Requiem, wants to use his damage to just finish off this Terror Blade. The laser will kill him off before he can use the Sunder. Really good usage of the Hex and the Shackles there. And now Yash, they have a Shackle, they should see him. Shackle him, no, Repel has been used so you can just TP away. But the Blood Ray plus the extra 40 or 75 damage ensured the kill on Melina. Now going to the Spirit Breaker, who's in the middle of a cloud of smoke, and I don't think he can make it away from this, especially with a Sanjay and Yasha onto him. He's just gonna go down. Ricky getting that kill, saying, screw it, I want to heal up. They even use the Blood Rage onto the Spirit Breaker in case the Bloodseeker cannot get that kill. And with that, they'll be able to take the Roshan as a freebie as well, using that Solar Crest to their advantage. Nope, they decide not to go into the Roshan. Seems like it's too dangerous in the end. It seems like it could be a Maelstrom for Retribution. Okay, that was a bit. That's not the best of pickups for, or not the most common of pickups for a Bloodseeker, but it does fulfill the same idea with the Radiance, except in a smaller scale and much cheaper. Considering you did go for the Sanjay and Yasha build, you can't go for too expensive items. And actually, I realize now the Maelstrom will be turned into a Mjolnir later on, so the whole idea the Bloodseeker is going for is hit me, please, and I will deal damage as you hit me. Blood Rage him, or Blood Rage whatever target is hitting him that he thinks is the weakest. And between the Rays and the Blade Mail itself, it will completely decimate one of those targets. Blood Rage has great synergy with Blade Mail, but it also does with Mjolnir. So, oh, Laguna's Blade plus the damage. Is Bloodseeker dead? He has to use the Blade Mail, but it came a bit too late. That Life Strike Array came from nowhere. Like I said, you don't really need to use the Yule Scepter to prevent or to get the kill. Honestly, that Strike Array is good enough because by the time you realize that it came to you, if you're well positioned, you're probably dead. That's an easy kill onto the Bloodseeker, and a bit more gold for this Lina in addition to a Bloodstone charge. She's up to 9. I mean, she did lose, went from 12 to 8, so that's bad. But now she's up to 9, a bit happier. Lincoln Sphere going on Lina next to prevent that rupture. Seems like that spell is actually quite useful. Mjolnir is definitely the next thing for Bloodseeker. That's not surprising there. I wonder if he's going to go for the plus 10 all stats with the 40% rupture damage. Lina already chose the 150 attack range. Obvious. If you ever choose anything, at level 20, 25 talents are always guaranteed to be the 150 attack range and the plus 40, plus 4% fire source stat. Because honestly, the 6% amplification, even with a Dragon Slave, even with the 2 Dragon Slaves dealing 500 damage, it would only be 30 extra. Like 2 Dragon Slaves is 30 extra. Even if you go for the Light Strike Array Dragon Slave, it's literally 500 damage and you only get 30 extra. From it. So it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Even with the Laguna's Blade, even your whole combo, you would get a total of, considering that this is the extra Light Strike Array damage, it's 1350, no? Yeah. Which would be roughly an extra 72, 78 damage. Yeah. Congrats, dude. 78. Actually, it would be 81 damage, 81 extra damage with just 6% amplification. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, honestly. And you already get the same amplification from your intelligence anyway. Adding to it, it would make it a 13%, which is okay, but you really don't care much about it. You get enough intelligence per level to warrant not getting that and going for attack range instead, and becoming one of those like physical carries. They're so valuable in the late game, by the way. Oh, doesn't he amplify the Yule Scepter Divinity damage? Jesus. What a horrendous idea. They do 60 extra damage for the Laguna's Blade though. Wait, that's probably the main source of damage is coming from. That's not bad. 60 extra damage for the Laguna's Blade just because of her current spell amplification. Yeah, that's pretty good. So, I mean, just because he got intelligence items. Oh, careful. Proxy's being targeted by the Terror Blade. He's starting to just go on the towers now. There's no much of the machines up. This Tinker is actually really low on mana. Oh, they're going to hit him with the Eruption though. They're going to kill the Terror Blade before he can use his Sunder, and they lost the Aegis already. Just simply with a Bloodlight Sunder combo, or a Bloodlight Rupture combo. No Sunder being used on Jules, so it's still available if they choose to do so. The Guardian Angel as well for this Omnet. And maybe that's, actually, maybe that's why. If the Bloodseeker is not planning to go for a Diffusal Blade, which it doesn't seem to be the case because he's going from Mjolnir, it is very wise to actually go for the extra damage, the extra pure damage, so you have more sources of damage, so that you can deal damage. You have more sources of non-physical damage, which can hurt those that are Guardian Angel, which makes perfect sense, because you have no way to dispel that Guardian Angel, because there's nobody in your team that's going to get Diffusal Blade but you. I like that very much. So then that way, with the Blood Right, they have a way to deal damage to Guardian Angel targets and finish off, say, a Tarot Blade, who's just been Guardian Angel at the very end when he takes it asunder. And then boom, you'd say no. The only person that's going to go for Diffusal Blade, actually, sorry, it's the Ricky, but that's going to take quite a long time. An eternity, honestly, at this point. The Bloodseeker can farm it much, much faster and get it in the same amount of time. In fact, Diffusal Blade is not bad for Bloodseeker in general because the agility is great on you, and obviously the feedback is never wasted because the plus 40 damage is decent. You have a good amount of attack speed and a good amount of agility again anyway. Oh, Proxy sees the charge, hexes him a bit too late, has the snakes, gonna let Ariuka just die. I think Proxy's goal is just to survive here. No, but he comes back with a Blink Dagger. Already took away the Lincoln Sphere for the Lina. That's important. Proxy's not dead yet thanks to the Abaddon help. And Jesse Vash might just kill him, though. He has the charge. The Phonic Shield is so annoying. And the Hex again. Proxy survives with an Aether Shock to finish off the Spirit Breaker. And Nariuka is looking for another kill. This time the kill is on the Crystal Maiden. They caught her from behind with both the Rupture and the Shackles. Now the Blood Right is going to finish her off. Another great combination by the Mongolz. And they're going to take down Alina and the Spirit Breaker. And letting both their Ricky and their Shadow Shaman survive. It seems like the supports are not as juicy targets as they thought, and with this Retribution, they should be able to get really close to the Mjolnir. Yeah, he's almost honestly finished it. Also, with the Maelstrom plus the Blood Right, it's an easy wave clear, so you get a lot of extra pushing and farming power. Which is another great thing that the Radiance does for you. You're able to push and farm much easier with the Radiance damage, but obviously the Mjolnir does the same thing for you, and the Mjolnir also reacts when they attack you, which is the whole point of the Blood Rage Blade Mjolnir. And you're pretty tanky, frankly. Sanjay also gives you a surprising amount of tank. If you went for, yeah, you went plus 10 for all stats. I like that. And you don't go for Scotty, for example, and I would not be surprised if you went to the minus 7 seconds Blood Right cooldown, as opposed to the extra lifesteal. You don't really need lifesteal in this kind of build, because the whole goal is to kill people incidentally, and he is going to go for the Scotty, that's the next item. You build a lot of tank, let the enemy team hit you, and you kill them by accident. You use the Blood Rage to heal you. You don't really need the intermediate healing all the way through, because your damage is not that great. That's the whole point of this build. Your damage is alright, you know, you deal a considerable amount, but you're not going to heal that much from it with the lifesteal, because most of your damage is concentrating on either your Blood Right, your Rupture, your extra Mjolnir damage, etc, etc. And this Shadow Shaman is dead in the top lane, by the way. I went away from him because I thought, yeah, he's dead. They found him. There's a haste from Lina, Laguna's Blade. I don't know what he was doing there, farming alone. In fact, level 18 is going to take him quite a long time to come back. He is the minus 30 seconds respawn duration. But then, the Aether Shock damage is fantastic at level 25, giving you a 670... I mean, the one extra attack for the Serpent Wards is not that big a deal, because they have a Lina, so the attack speed is far too great. The agility is also fantastic from the Terrible. The agility gain, sorry, so his attack speed is never going to be faulting or lacking. That means that the Shadow Shaman is much better off going for the extra Aether Shock damage. And that is a 670 Aether Shock blast. That is essentially a Laguna Blade for 12 targets, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's 7 targets. 12 earlier? Yeah. 7 targets. Regardless, that's all the heroes in the enemy team. That's like getting a figure of Death Axe, just for the talent. It's so good. It's so good. And with a much lower cooldown, granted. 8-second cooldown, Aether Shock is ridiculous. And he's even going for the Aghanims to get the Snake's damage up. And that damage from the Snake's Axe is ridiculous. Not only do they get him extra attack damage, or extra attack range, but also extra attack damage. I believe, at least, unless they changed it. Oh, I can't tell. We'll see when the Shadow Shaman grabs us. He's really close to it. And with the extra attack damage, you have an insane amount of pushing power. The snakes are also much more useful because of the attack range. You're able to use them, you know, in a team fight. Say you're fighting close to these towers, you can put them much closer to here, 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 and they'll be able to attack the racks and whatnot without losing much. And the best part about putting them here, for example, is that in the basic. So you want to put them, when you're sieging high ground and you're using your snakes, you put them around this line, more or less, like here or here. But when they attack this tier 3 tower, even though they're far away from it, so the enemy team can't attack them. So that's the whole point of putting him so far away. Once this tower goes down, you cannot attack. The range here is too large. That's too large. The range here is too far. The range here as well is too far, so you won't be able to attack these racks, or at least not most of your snakes. You know, some of them, like the front line ones, will be able to attack them. With the extra attack range, you can put them farther away, as far away as you want, and you can still attack the racks regardless with most of, or not all, if not all your snakes. Which is a godsend, honestly, because Shadow Shaman doesn't have to feed the snakes as much anymore. Okay. Oh no! Oh, they did change it considerably. Okay. They have split shot attacking 2 units for full damage. Oh, I did not know that. Instead of the area of effect damage. Oh, they really changed Mass Separate Warp. Wow. I don't see Shadow Shaman often picked, so it just kind of slipped my mind, but that's what they do. The extra attack range is still very useful, so that argument stands. Gladly, I was not explaining why the extra damage was so useful, but rather why the extra attack range was so useful, so I'm kind of happy with that. It's still a ridiculous amount of damage with 100, and with a split shot now, they're able to attack 2 units, which is great against Terrorblade Illusions, I can only imagine. And that's 12 snakes, if I'm not mistaken. 12? 10. 10 snakes, which each 100 damage is 1,000 damage per hit. If they all hit you, that's pretty ridiculous. And with a split shot, that's 1,000 damage per hit to 2 targets. Wow, without, because there's no loss there. The experience gain, by the way, is why the Shadow Shaman is so over leveled. I was gonna say, why is he such a high level? It's the experience gain extra. Because if you compare, the Spirit Breaker has been doing pretty much the same job as the Shadow Shaman, which is, you know, farming, being in kills whenever possible, etc., etc. Proxy not only has much more farm because of that Midas, but much more experience because of, again, the Midas and also the 35% experience gain. The Spirit Breaker sadly does not have any of that kind of, you know, gold. Doesn't even like going for the 120 gold per minute is the worst part. He likes going for the minus 40-second respawn time because the Spirit Breaker later on in the game is just so weak that honestly, no matter how many utility items you get, you're not going to be relevant. So you're much better off just going for the minus 40-second respawn time so you can at least charge, commit suicide, charge, commit suicide, charge, commit suicide, so on and so forth. In fact, even the Crystal Maid is more farmed than he is, and it makes sense because she does better with items than she does more with items than the Spirit Breaker. Be able to get a Force Deafening Glimmer Cape not only your utility, but you also get the extra movement speed for yourself. Went for the 250 health as opposed to the cast range. That's interesting. In a lot of games, the health is not valued because of the fact that the enemy team has mostly, not distantly burst damage, but enough damage to finish you off regardless of the 225 health. So say in 3-4 hits you die, so getting an extra hit of survivability is not that big a deal. Whereas the cast range puts you farther away from the team fight, so them having to close the gap is still a pretty good factor. Being able to do that is fantastic. And they go with the Hex, the Crystal Maiden caught out, Shackles, and Proxy kills are off. That's the extra attack range for the separate wards. Huh, I just saw this at the bottom lane. Retribution meanwhile on top lane getting a kill onto Yaj. Now going on to Jules. They already used the Rupture though, and Jules will be able to TP away. In fact, the Reflection, he wants to... Does he want to fight this? Even with a BKB activated, he actually has no TP, and he's not taking the TP away from his stash right now. The Spirit Breaker is joining him, trying to go onto Proxy. They have a Shackles available, though. There's the laser to stop Jesse Vash from dealing much damage. Proxy is not getting hit by Jules because of that great laser. He's going to end up going down to Jesse Vash's Urn of Shadows, and Jules is somehow surviving this whole assault. Ariuka now goes down as well, and they kill off Masquerade in the backlines. The Retribution decided to back off a long time ago. It seems like this Terrorblade, if not hit by a Silence, is completely vulnerable to the attacks that both Mongolz and Happy Feet put out. Wow. I mean, in the end, they have a great defense, a great high ground defense, but the Terrorblade being able to do that, especially when you were supposed to be winning a team fight because you're swarming them, he just killed the only source he had of you know, HP and health and all that with the Omni Knight. It's insane that the Terrorblade can still not only destroy you, actually, yeah, destroy you, to completely wreck your team, just with a BKB. That's all he needed. I mean, granted, with a 10-second BKB, probably the best BKB you can ever get in this game. And against a Tinker, so you obviously prevented his damage completely, and you even have a Butterfly. So it's a great combination of factors that help Jules in that team fight. However, Jules should still not be able to survive such a great 4 versus 1. You know, that doesn't happen. He's gonna continue the push though, and with his Butterfly. And now the Scotty, he has so much stats on these illusions. In fact, it's really hard to deal with his illusions. They need to get MKB onto the Bloodseeker. MKB is a great item for Bloodseeker because you prevent the TPs onto you. But the fact that you already went for Scotty, Mjolnir, makes his MKB going to take a bit of time. He had Bloodthorn on someone. Oh god, Jules is gonna find the Abaddon. Abaddon's like, ah no, please. Finally got the Radiance. Ooh, that's not a bad pickup at all. I love that Radiance. Not only be able to prevent some of the illusions from Jules. Is he being hit by the Curse of the Avernus? No. Okay, so they don't actually get the reflections. Don't get any effects. They just get the auras from them if needed. Cool. The good thing about this though is that I do believe if you copy the Abaddon while he is borrowed timing, then you copy the borrowed time, and if he has Ags, then it gives you an aura. I'm not entirely certain though. We should see. However, Jules here with the cheese, he's more than confident to just start attacking this tower. And they already caught the Tinker. Oh god, Lightstrike Array, Laguna's Blade. This Tinker's dead. There's no way he was going to survive that. In Retribution, TP's right in the middle of that to try to catch some attention. I can only imagine. But what can he really do? The Bloodright is not available right now. They're going to use it again once they get, just to zone out to bin her. But in comes Jules with the Lotus Orb. It's really hard to actually attack him. You don't want to use your Rupture onto him. They did catch out the Lina, and they even used the Rupture on her, but the Aegis is just going to be dropped there. The 3 snakes all coming out, the 10 snakes all coming out, and trying to lock down the Lina, but she just gets force-staffed away, and the Ricky, as soon as he comes out of the Tricks of the Trade, will get stopped by the Lightstrike Array, and Mongolz will be taking down a Rex, almost guaranteed, if not getting the game. I mean, the Retribution doesn't even have a buyback. Proxy might die again a second time. Lightstrike Array misses on him. You also turn to the Abaddon, but the Radiance is still hurting. And now with the lasers and the Tinker being back up, they have the chance to actually attack this. But they want to catch out Sanka. They have a Laguna's Blade available. They don't want to go too far. This Lightstrike Array hits the Abaddon. Abaddon knows he's going to die if he goes any further, because Laguna's Blade can still kill him through the ultimate. So careful there. They gone for the Tinker, 21,000 net worth, and it does seem like the Terrorblade Illusions are doing a number on this Brax, the laser, to kill them out. But they forced the buyback on the Tinker and delayed his Dagon, I can only imagine. That's his next item he's going for, trying to go full on to counter the Terrorblade. Terrorblade himself does not need any more items, but he'd be welcome to have some Trial Boots. And sell the Trez, get some Trial Boots, and then get the Moonshard probably. I would even go Trial Boots level 2 before getting the Moonshard. You don't really need the Moonshard on the Terrorblade because it doesn't really translate to your illusion, so it's only okay on him. Whereas the Trial Boots are fantastic, because you can travel to the Spirit Breaker while he's charging and get a super initiation going on. Wombo combo! It's fantastic. It works well for them. Terrorblade being cleared. That Radiance on Masquerade is also not doing him any favors. Honestly, I thought at first it would be a really good item, but he got so late in the game that it's just not helping him out at all, and it's just making him an easier target because he didn't go for a tankier item, right? If he had gone for Assault Grasp or even Blade Mail, something of the sort, then I understand, but he didn't. They're waiting for that to charge from Jesse Vash. In fact, they might just go on him. No, okay. They said that it's a better option to go for a juicier target. After all, you wasted a smoke on this. This is a good idea. In fact, Terrorblade, that is the actual Terrorblade. That is the actual Terrorblade. Jules, please don't die. They hex him already. Bloodright's coming out. The Rupture, everything onto the Terrorblade. He's been stunned by the Shackles. He's gonna go down. There's no way he could have survived that. In fact, the Rupture might have been just wasted there, but it's a really low cooldown spell, so I'm not even gonna complain. Terrorblade, why? Do you really think that you're this cocky this game? You think you can just beat the enemy team? They have a Shadow Shaman. He's the king of pickoffs. He is the king of pickoffs. We need the Bloodseeker though to reach the level 25. I believe the Tinker is gonna go for the extra laser damage. Surprisingly enough, I think it's actually really good against Terrorblade. And you know, clearing illusions a bit faster is not too bad. The lifesteal is not that useful because if they catch you, you're dead, and they don't catch you, you're not, so it's fine. Laguna's Blade, catch out the Ricky, that's a gem lost, and a gem given to the enemy team as they didn't have enough vision already. But they want to take Yasha's gem, they're not even concerned themselves with the gem that's currently on the ground. In fact, the Crystal Maiden put herself in a great position for the Freezing Field, and she's ready. Guardian Angel already came out, and the Freezing Field dealing a lot of damage here to Retribution. He needs to run away, but the Lina is also decimating him. In comes the charge from Jesse Vash. They catch out the Abaddon. Abaddon will die first, thanks to the Lina's damage, and now the Bloodseeker catches the poor Spirit Breaker in a Bloodright. Sanke finishing him off with a Dagon. But in comes Ben-Hur. We'll catch out Sanke. Oh, that Blink Dagger saved his life. Is there any way to cancel a TP? No, the Yule Scepter was on cooldown, so in the end, the Lina won't be able to get that kill onto the Tinker. The Bloodseeker with level 25, going for the Bloodright cooldown as expected. It is a very powerful skill. Constant silence if you actually do it well, because, well, not necessarily constant silence because of the load up time, but more or less. Actually, I don't know. No. It is constant silence because once the load up time, yeah, it is constant silence. You should be able to get a 100% silence time if you hit them constantly with the Bloodright. It'd be super OP if Bloodright had some sort of stun or slow or anything together with it, but sadly, it only has one thing. You know. Careful, the Dagon comes in. They want to kill off this Crystal Main. They're going to manage to do so, but in exchange for a gem that the Reiki just dropped, Laguna's Blade being committed to that. And it doesn't seem like Happy Feet don't have it as easily, but the Terror Blade is still available, so they're still around. Light Strike Array, catch out Retribution. That's a lot of damage going his way. Blade Mail activated. They know they can't go. Oh, how did they cancel that? How do they cancel that? Oh, Blood Rage. Blood Rage to cancel a Lincoln. So that, yeah, that's why Lincoln's not as effective on a Bloodseeker. I understand. Ooh, Force Staff really good to catch him with a DJ Aura. Now catching out Sanke. That's the important part. Sanke will go down first thanks to the damage from the Lina, and he has no buyback. If they find Retribution here, he could be dead as well. Light Strike Array. He's not going to hit him. They decided to use on the creeps instead. But this is the time to push. Terrible has also been pushing in this mid lane. He's been caught out by the Shackles. The BKB used, tries to regain some health with the Sunder, will manage to do so. Light Strike Array hitting 2. Proxy, oh no, you went a bit too far. The charge was on you the whole time, buddy. And they're gonna eliminate him. This is a dead Shadow Shaman for 80 seconds. How are they defending this with only a Bloodseeker? Jules is starting to now take down the last towers, the last tier 3, and the last set of racks, which is so important. The Hurricane Pike to prevent the Blood Right damage. They even end up going onto the Bloodseeker. Lena's about to die. She's going to sacrifice himself, but it's just to create some space for the Terror Blade to keep on taking these towers. After all, the whole objective should be to take down these racks and get the Mega Creeps. In comes Yash, blinks in, and wants to fight Retribution, but realizes this is a fight he cannot take. Yash cannot even use the Guardian Angel in time, and he will sacrifice himself, but in exchange for the racks that Jules just took, Retribution with the thirst, he's looking for the last homicidal kill, and it will be onto the Spirit Breaker. Jules, though, making it out alive. He can out utilize his travel boots if needed, going for a refresh orb even before finishing the moon chart. Like I said, the moon chart is not that great, but for now the Mega Creeps are starting to threaten this base. Even with the Mjolnir, I mean, Bloodseeker is pretty much ready to fight them because he has a Mjolnir and he has the Blood Right, you know, maxed out, so that's the amount of damage they can do. Similarly, Tinker went for the Ags plus Etherlance build. They're probably some of the best teams to deal with Mega Creeps. However, going back on Mega Creeps, really hard to deal with that, frankly. Just the Mega Creeps in general. Even if you have the best defense you can possibly muster, and even now with the Octarine Core onto the Abaddon, with the extra Phonic Shield help, they're doing everything they can, but it's hard, man. It's really hard, especially against Mega Creeps and against the Terror Blades, and I keep split pushing you. The Lina has MKB, so she deals a ridiculous amount of damage if they just catch her. With level 25, she has the Fire Soul stacks, but nope, they caught her out instead. Lina, seems like your attempt was thwarted, and that's a dead Lina with no buyback available to her. It's actually pretty big for Happy Feet. Or for Mongolz. They can't capitalize on this is the issue. They keep wanting to go get kills, but if Jules is unkillable, then how do you win? If the Terror Blade is alive, you can't win, and the Terror Blade can't die. So there's just, you're not gonna win. And that's the problem. Jules, careful, they're gonna find him. Ooh, Abaddon sees him, and he's like, hey, I want to go on this guy. The region rune has been marked out by Retribution. Instead, for now, they're just wasting time. Not even going on to, you know, try to push it tier 2. Especially the tier 2 mid, which has to die. Has to die. Retribution coming from behind and trying to get these creeps finally. Yeah, good. His strength gain is not that bad. 2.4 per level is 0.2 better than the Bristleback. It's, what, 1 whole level above the Terror Blade? Yeah. And 0.9 above the Lina. Not bad. His strength gain is okay per level. Oh god, this tower is falling quickly. Maybe that's not that good for Happy Feet. I mean, they don't have that much high ground defense. Honestly, the Lina has lost her Bloodstone, so she actually takes a long time to come back now. Well, not lost, she sold it, obviously. But I wonder if they can actually make a comeback. You look, the snakes are coming out, and the snakes are starting to attack this tower. And like, this is the position exactly that I was marking earlier in the map when I was talking about them. It's very effective at zoning out and just doing a lot of damage to the towers. But with Joel's attack speed, really hard to use the snakes later on in the game. It's more of you don't use it against someone that has a good late game. Use this and someone that has a bad late game and they rely on like early pushes or wave clears like a Coddle or a Tinker, etc., etc. Not when it's terribly. You could have Sundered, but I don't think Sunder stuns you anymore. Should have not. It shouldn't have stunned you anymore. Or was it Omni Slash that they took the stun out? I forgot. I think it was Sunder. Okay, well, the Aegis is not back up yet. In fact, it's only waiting for 40 seconds for that Aegis to come back. And once the Roshan is up and they can take it, that's probably gonna be just happy feet. GG. Oh, they caught at the Shadow Shaman. That's dead Shadow Shaman. No buyback. There's the time to push. I mean, after all, the shackles was pretty much one of the things that was keeping you in the game. So being able to just kill off the Shadow Shaman was huge there. But instead, I think they're deciding to go onto the Ricky. They don't know entirely. They decided to leave the lane. Sorry, and go into a different one. They don't know entirely the Ricky was there, which is unfortunate. And the constant heat-seeking missile spam is making it very annoying for them to initiate. Oh, there's a start from the Spirit Breaker. A good charge. The Blood Ride is not going to hit anyone. But the Spirit Breaker has put himself in a difficult position. Are they going to help him? They're not. The BKB Spirit Breaker is just trying to run away. They keep pinging him. In comes the Ahmed finally with the Degen Aura. There's the Guardian Angel with the Axe. It catches absolutely everyone. And Ricky will die first thanks to the Lagoon Display damage. And now, the help from Jules. He still has the Sunder, but will Sunder the wrong thing. And he's actually lost. Oh, I mean, he has barely any HP. He has to Sunder something useful. Run in. Come on, Terrorblade. Hurricane Pike yourself in. Sunder the Terrorblade. I mean, the Abaddon. There it is. A Masquerade is as good as dead. Oh, no. Never mind. Jules doesn't want to keep on fighting this. In fact, the Tinker deals too much damage. He managed to get a kill onto the enemy Omni Knight. And we'll threaten the Terrorblade to leave. Jules now going to this tower using the BKB. Can't get hit by the Blood Rite. Now using another Sunder to hit the Retribution. That 10-second Sunder is very useful, isn't it? Especially when you're just trying to split push your way to victory. The laser, though, making it very hard for the Terrorblade to take these towers down. The tier 3 takes a considerable amount of damage, but does not die. Yeah, tier 4, sorry. As the Terrorblade tries to do what he can with the illusions. Take down those valuable towers, valuable objectives. Abaddon with the trowel boots himself. Finally grabbing them. That's pretty important, actually. Being able to get that extra movement speed is not bad for an Abaddon trying to run away from a Terrorblade. They did lose their courier, though, so that means no more secret shop items for these guys. And that MKB for Retribution, I don't know how it's ever going to come by. In fact, at this point, no, he's saying for buyback. I like the idea of just saying for buyback. At this point of considering... Oh, no, wait, actually just buy it. He just used buyback. I realized. Retribution. Retribution just used buyback a couple minutes ago. So, yeah, please, Bloodseeker, go buy your MKB. No, MKB is the way to go. MKB was definitely the way to go. You lack damage to this terribly, clearly. You don't need extra tank with Assault Caress. Let the Abaddon get the Assault Caress and go for the extra tank. Oh, no, this is a very scary Roshan tip. I mean, I said scary, but I mean, I don't know if that's the right Roshan tip. In fact, even find Retribution, he has no buyback. This could be it. This could be it. Retribution hasn't found out. He hasn't been killed, though, and he now wants to go onto Jules. He might be turning this around. The Sunder's still available. Go on to Masquerade. Masquerade still has borrowed time, so he should be able to heal. Now the Hex and the Dagon finishes off this Crystal Maiden. The Aegis has been taken, and this Bloodseeker is ready to rumble as they kill off a Terrorblade who still has buyback, but who cares? I mean, the Bloodseeker has an Aegis, goddammit. The Spirit Breaker managed to charge down the Shadow Shaman. That's pretty good. And Ricky is going to still find Jesse Vash. No poison onto him. They decided to go for the double Aquila build, but they do have vision now. Oh, the help from the Purification. The Thirst, though, makes Mr. Mongolz or Retribution so fast. And he wants to find Banner. Decided not to go on him instead. Could still lose the Aegis in this engagement. This would be very important. They lost the Aegis. A Tinker, though, in the backline is trying to kill off the Spirit Breaker. Should be dead. Finally finishing off. Oh, the Omnet, sorry. The Spirit Breaker is like here fighting against Retribution. They're going to get that kill. They're going to get the kill onto Retribution. The double kill. Just because the Tinker decided that the Omnet was a better choice than fighting off the Lena from the Bloodseeker, who was, dying. So that's not only losing the Aegis, which is important, but also losing that Bloodseeker without any buyback in sight. Going on to the Lena, though, they have the gem on the Ricky. They actually have double gems, so double Aquila, double gem. This Ricky is the duplicate Ricky. Lena will go down, and no buyback in her name either. Only the Terrorblade has buyback. What a game of mistakes and weird plays, and who is going to win, you honestly never know. Because the issue is that, yes, you have Mega Creeps on the Mongol side, but they took a Roshan fight. In fact, if they get gone mid lane and saved their Bloodseeker, played much more as a team and with more cohesion, they would have been fine. But instead, they decided that it was better to go or try and kill the Omni because they thought that was a valuable target or whatever. It did not go too well for them. Okay, Saki went for the extra spell lifesteal. Interesting. Huh. I like that we're seeing. I mean, I guess if you want to go for late game and you trust in yourself at this point, then yeah, why not? Then -4 second more smoke screen cooldown. Yes, please. Almost eternal smoke screen. That's absolutely wonderful. You ever get to see these ones? Ether shock damage. Yes, it's the best way to clear mana creeps as well. 600 damage is half their health. It's not bad at all, considering that Ether shock itself deals no damage. Yeah, there it is. It's not bad. It's a good way to farm. Look at the enemy teams now. Omnet went for the oh wow, 200 purification heal. That's 500. That's not bad at all. That's weird. It adds the purification heal, but it's not at the 75 blood right damage. Huh. Unless they nerfed it and it's currently... Nah, because that would mean it's 65 at level, or 55 at level 1, or 45 at level 1, which is not possible. Whereas the purification heal does. That's a weird thing. Right, the Lina obviously went to the Fire Soul stacks. The Spirit Breaker, I'm wondering if he's going to go for the charge. He did go for the gold per minute, which is interesting. Oh, Nether Strike, catching Masquerade with the Silver Edge. They have to keep him stunned for much longer, or silenced for much longer, sorry. As Masquerade tries to leave, he's lost his borrowed time, though. That means he's lost his privileges. They have to stun him out of that, and with this one charge, plus a Light Strike array, they'll ensure the kill. What did the Crystal Maiden go for extra Frostbite duration? With the Agonism makes perfect sense. And meanwhile, the Ricky trying to charge onto Yaj. But Ben-Hur is close. They do kill. Okay, I did not know Jules was there. I did not know Jules was there. I'll be honest there. I did not think that Jules was going to play a suicidal game and sacrifice himself to the gods. This might just end up being Mongolz games because of all these weird kills that sort of be happening at all. I mean, at this point, there's no more items that your team can grab, really, so it doesn't really matter who is late game or who's early game or whatever, who is doing better or who has more net worth. All that matters is buybacks and if they can get kills. So they see the Ricky, finally an easy kill. Jesse Bash taking that kill and go for the extra 500 charge speed like I expected. Yeah, that's a really fast charge, so it's a much easier initiation for this team. In addition to the graded bash, 17% is a nice meme, but it's really not that great if you conserve it. Unless you're going for full-on carry Spirit Breaker, which well, I don't think it would be possible because, I mean, plus 20 damage, plus 5 movement speed, I suppose. Look at how fast he charges. He actually charged from one way on the map to the other before Masquerade could complete his TP. That was fantastic. However, the team fight is now going to start, and they caught out Sanke. This is a much more valuable target. Lagoon's Blade is available. Sanke is losing his health quickly, but he's starting to heal up with much of the machines. There is the Guard Angel used, and the Lagoon's Blade to finish him off. They caught out a Tinker, and he has no buyback. Now is the Bloodseeker the next one to die. Does he have a buyback? No, in 1 minute. They do finish off this Lina, though. How did they do so? Not just the Dagon came out of nowhere, now killing off the Omnite, going onto the Crystal Maiden. The team from Mongolz are doing it. They're actually turning this around. Without the Terrorblade, it seems like they couldn't fight, and Retribution had the Dagon. Okay, he's the one with the Dagon. Jesus Christ, why does he have a Dagon? Actually, with a Blood Rage, plus 40% damage increase of this Dagon, that's what? That's actually a lot. That's 320 extra damage. Oh, plus the already existing damage amplification you get, which is 8.8%. So the Dagon doesn't tell me how much damage it deals, but plus, what's 8.8%? Oh, it even increases your blood rate damage. I didn't even think of that. Okay. What's that times 800? More or less 64. 72.4. Yeah, 72.4 onto the 800, right? Plus now an extra 40% of that, which is roughly around 1100 damage. That's insane. That's insane for a Dagon. That's actually a really good burst. So that plus the fact that you can now go for the E-Blade. Yes, he bought it just as I was saying it. The E-Blade. Extra 40 agility is fantastic for a carry. You lost your Blade Mail because you don't need it anymore. You went for a very defensive-ish build in terms of stats. You know, going for Sanjay Yasha, going from the Scotty. So it doesn't give you as much damage as you usually would like. The E-Blade, ooh, that bursts you up completely. And your agility gain is fantastic. 3.0 per level. Currently the agility is what? 100? 200? Sorry, what am I saying? 190? Yeah, when he gets... How is he getting extra agility? Oh, the treads. Jesus. Okay, when the treads are on agility, which I'm assuming that's... I mean, you can't really count the treads. So he's at 190. 190 is 2 times, right? Plus 75, so 380. Plus 75. Wow, is this a shotgun Bloodseeker build? That's 380 plus 75, which would be... What? It would be 455? Yeah, 455 damage, which is amplified by 40%, which is roughly getting up to 516. Or, sorry, 515, more or less. A bit more. It'd be around 520, 35. But regardless, the Bloodseeker, very powerful by doing that. That's just with Blood Rage, E-Blade, and the Dagon with 1100 damage. You have a... And it even takes the basic magic resistance to make it so that that's not magical damage, but more like pure damage. And the Terrorblade's gonna be popped. I mean, not popped, obviously, but it takes away half his health easily. Then he also has the extra damage the E-Blade gives him, which is 40 whole extra damage, attack speed, and a lot of armor. So not bad. Catching the Omnite out. They even use the combo. Omnite is not dead yet. Tricks of the trade being used to finish him off. Jules is trying to sunder something. He has 10 seconds on sunder. They could attack him now, but instead they're going to kill off Alina first. Jules is the hardest target, so why not leave him for last? That's a good idea. They've already killed off Alina and the Omnite. 2 cores dead. They have to stop his TP from happening. Retribution won't catch him in time. That was a good Hurricane Pike and TP as the Hurricane Pike happened. Jesus, but the guys at Mongolz are taking back this game just because of the great optimization they've decided to go for and these constant solo kills on the enemy cores. Lina and Omnite, surprisingly enough, not that tanky in the late game, and Bloodseeker are stronger than you think, especially since the boss and especially the talents he's gone. Being able to go for this kind of build with Dagon E-Blade build, it works out for him, honestly. People really underestimate this kind of, these heroes that they think is just a snowball hero, and late game is really bad. But against a Terrorblade, even if you had picked up the stats, which is not bad, plus 15 on stats, we're giving him a lot of HP experience, sorry, a lot of HP, a lot of agility. I think the Thunder was the right choice entirely, the Terrorblade, that's needed it more than once in team fights. But of course, oh, they found the 2 supports. Why were you hiding in the trees? What were you doing in the trees? Oh, this like going to camp and being caught with a girl. In fact, yeah, the Spritbreaker did get caught with a girl. He killed one of the monitors though. Good job. But now they're gonna turn him into goat meat. Seems like it was a camp in Hungary or Romania, I guess, one of the two. And with that, they managed to take down both supports in the enemy team. Crystal Maiden does not have a buyback. As we can see, buyback status, everyone is starting to get their buybacks back. The Omnite, or the Abaddon being the only one that doesn't have it. The Riki and the Crystal Maiden don't have it because of gold issues. But the good thing about this, by the way, is that Riki is himself being able to go into a carry position later on in the game. I mean, as late as you can get. He did go for the -4 smoke screen cooldown, so I don't think that's going to be the case too much, though. I'm being perfectly honest. Seems like the guys from Happy Feet are now just deciding to push out a bit more and ensure that Happy Feet at least don't or can use the meta creeps for something. But right now the defense of the meta creeps doesn't seem too hard for the Bloodseeker since he's even going to the jungle, and these lanes are actually going pretty far considering you don't even have meta creeps. They have to get a long push and then just go mid lane and win. Obviously that's the way to win, but it's really hard to do so in this game. I love that I can just pick up 20-second cooldown on your Nether Strike and an area Nether Strike. That could be so powerful this game. When you don't have much team fight, because your team fight, your offlaner who's supposed to give you team fight is just an Omni-Knight, you need something else. And that Nether Strike might be that something else that you need to just turn around this game. The scan is used by Happy Feet. They want to make sure there's no Riki here. That's why they use the scan. And nothing's going to happen for now. Mongolz are taking this. It's a 60-minute game at this point. So it's pretty long. And Mongolz doesn't seem to want to give up with his mana creeps anytime soon. In fact, I would love to see a comeback from mana creeps. But, you know, please bear with me. I have some friends I want to meet up with later. So don't make it a 6-hour game. Cool. It's okay. We don't have a Naga Siren, so it's fine. I'm kidding. I don't actually care. I have no life. I'm a caster after all. Masquerade is just trying to push it out these lanes now. With the Shivas and the Radiance is quite easy. Honestly, with the Photic Shield itself. The Photic Shield is a 500 damage nuke. It's better than the Ether Shock. Well, it's better than the Ether Shock because of the low cooldown. It's only 3.85. That's really just a 3-second, almost a 4-second cooldown, but a bit less. It does seem like Masquerade is going to be joining on the bottom lane. They don't want to fight too much. They did use a smoke. Retribution, seeing that happen. Ariuka's going to check when he loses the smoke and probably attack then. Oh, careful. They're going to take a Roshan. This is an easy Roshan for them unless Retribution finds this. There's the Blood Right coming out. It doesn't catch up people before the Roshan comes out. And her will have a great Roshan. The rush is being used on the Omnite. Careful, Bloodseeker's been rooted forever. They had that freezing field, and he might just die first. They actually managed to get a great freezing field thanks to James Northsmith, and they kill almost everything except for the Tinker. Those snakes were just going around destroying everything, but apparently wasn't enough damage. That creep took a frostbite too. That was great for the guys at Happy Feet. Managed to take the Roshan. Lina doesn't die. It's one of the best team fights they've had in a long time, and that freezing field pretty much destroyed everyone with the constant frostbites and the freezing field. It was great. Dagon now coming out into the Shadow Shaman himself. He even used the refresher and it wasn't that effective. Honestly, refreshing with the stakes is not that great later on in the game. They just get destroyed pretty easily. And they go onto the Tinker. Really fast charge. Nether Strike catches him, and they don't seem to care about the Tinker. They kill him in seconds, and they're just guaranteed to win the game now. This game ends now, says Happy Feet. We want to eat lunch, and we want to win our second game, but Terrorblade already been destroyed. They might have been a bit too hasty about this. That buyback might have cost them the game better as to make it our life no matter what. But the Bloodseeker, the race car, it's Fernando Alonso going on to Banner. He doesn't have MKB, so he can't stun him out of the TP. Happy Feet will lose the Terrorblade, and they need to do something. Please capitalize on this advantage you just got, Mongolz. You have to. The Terrorblade has no buyback. You know this for a fact, but I guess you don't have buyback either, and you're up against Mega Creeps. Alright, guys, strap yourselves in, because this is going to be a long 60-minute or 80-minute game. Honestly, because Mongolz is not going to let themselves lose. I mean, he has a Dagon level 5. He's out of items to buy. Moonshard, I suppose, and Travel Boots level 2. At this point, maybe sell your Sanjay and Yasha and grab a Butterfly. Or a second Scotty. Actually, yeah, grab a second Scotty. I mean, if you're going to go for the stats, Sanjay and Yasha, screw the stats. Who cares about those? Grab a Scotty, win the game. Or a Butterfly for to increase your E-Blade damage. Actually, what's the second item that gives you the most agility? Or quiz time? I mean, I hope you guys know. It's Diffusal Blade. It's level 2. That's 35 agility onto you. Butterfly's actually only the third item that gives you agility. In terms of agility game. Sorry. Oh, wow, that charge is ridiculous. In fact, oh no. Is Artificial actually gonna die here? E-Blades himself? He might survive. The Helper Masquerade. No, the Nether Strike. Only 20-second cooldown. Retribution is gone, and they have no buyback onto him. They're gonna try to kill the Spirit Breaker as a result, but Sanke. Oh god, the damage from Ben-Hur is too big, and they're gonna manage to take out Sanke. Now Proxy is fighting against the Lina. The Lina takes down 2. He has to survive against Masquerade, and Masquerade is starting to run away, but that's Burrow Time still available. He should be okay. Actually, maybe the Frostbite is going to make this hard for him. Ayuka still wants to find the backlines and the gem, so Ayuka will die to this orbital cannon that is the Lina. Just attack the Abaddon, for God's sake. No need for it. They had the root, and now the freezing field. The GG will come out from Mongolz after 66 minutes of long, arduous game where they were defending with the best of their ability, tooth and nail, eye for an eye, every single saying in the book that indicates endeavor. Mongolz did it. 20 whole minutes of defending against Mega Creeps, but in the end, Happy Feet take the game after a team fight that just didn't go their way. A great play by this Lina, and more importantly, again, the Spirit Breaker being the MVP. Mongolz versus Happy Feet ends in a defeat for the guys at Mongolz, who are going to manage to win this first match of the best of 2. But that was a very close matchup. Not surprising, Happy Feet can win the second one. Let's see what happens. My name's been DSwordfish. I've been your caster for today. Hope you've enjoyed the cast. If you did follow me on Twitter at DSwordfish, I'll put the link in the chat. Or if not, tell me why in the chat as well. You know, I'm always open to criticism. That said, we'll come back with game number 2 of this series very shortly, so stay tuned and enjoy some tunes while we wait. I'll see you guys soon.